Tell you that over a year into this, that there is no evidence of collusion. The president has called this investigation a witch hunt many times, and yet he and his allies have been cooperative. They've turned over thousands of pages of documents. They've sat for dozens and dozens of interviews. And I think it's important to note that the public has a right to know, Brian, transparently and fully, what is going on here? What are we really looking at? If now we're looking at these stories that people in the Trump campaign early on, whom I've never even met, were meeting with people or were being surveilled by people, that's got zero to do with the winning part of the campaign. It just does. I have never, Carter Page was on your network telling your colleague Jake Tapper, this is important, that he's never met me. I don't recall ever meeting Carter Page or George Papadopoulos. The point I'm making is when you talk about the Trump campaign, you've got to break it up. And the winning part was focused very much on Macomb County, Michigan, and Mecklenburg County,
I think
North
it's helpful
Carolina,
to think
not
about
Moscow.
the Russian attack as a shadow campaign that's being investigated. But when the president says they found no evidence of collusion, it makes me wonder who's telling him that? Who's letting him inside the Mueller investigation?
Well, here's what the president knows,
has not
Brian.
been told that yet.
You know full well that if there was evidence of collusion, it would have leaked out by now. A lot has leaked out.
I do not know that. The Mueller team has not been leaking. I wish they would.
I didn't say they did, but there would be many people. I didn't say that, but as you know, there are many people who have access to different information. Obviously, there are several different investigations going on. The House has had one. The Senate has had one. Mr. Mueller has one, certainly.
But where is he getting this stuff? He tweeted that, quote, the witch hunt has given up on Russia and is looking at the rest of the world. He's citing this remarkable New York Times story.
Maybe he's watching your network where you sort of have shelved these screaming graphics about Russia collusion and you've replaced them with one person's lawyer who's been on your network for over 160 times in a short amount of time.
But as your colleague, Sarah Sanders has said, you can walk and chew gum at the same time. There is an active investigation into Russia's attack on our country. It's a good thing that Mueller's also looking at other possible foreign influence. Who is telling the president that's given up on Russia?
Brian, respectfully, if you can walk and chew gum and whistle at the same time, then start covering this man's accomplishments. We have a new CIA director, most qualified person ever to be mentioned, first woman. No, but you don't want to tell America the truth of his accomplishments.
Every American knows about the accomplishments.
They don't know it if they watch CNN. They don't know that the unemployment rate's under 4%. They don't know that growth is close to 4%. They don't know that we're renegotiating trade deals with China, with Mexico, with everyone across the globe. They don't know. No, they don't know that the president is working on prison reform with CNN's
My email is
Van Jones.
bstelter@gmail. If you are watching this program and you don't know about those accomplishments, I want you to email me. Kellyanne, every viewer in America knows about those accomplishments. But they also know that the president is calling. CNN. They are watching CNN right now and they all know about the accomplishments.
Because I said so.
When you say the president calls this a witch hunt, he's describing a federal investigation into a foreign government's attack on our country. Do you recognize the harm that's being done when the president degrades the FBI that way?
He's not degrading the FBI. He's made very
clear
the
witch hunt degrades the FBI.
Hold on. No, it doesn't. Absolutely does not. And here's why. This president who went to Quantico with the new director of the FBI, Christopher Wray, a couple of months ago, addressed them. He and other people who speak on his behalf, like me, Brian, consistently say what I'm going to say now, which is the tens of thousands of men and women in the rank and file FBI who do their jobs respectably and diligently every day is not who the president is talking about. He's talking about specific actors whose names we know now: Jim Comey, Andrew McCabe, Peter Orr and his wife, Straussick and Page texting each other about their animus towards President Trump, all the while screwing up the investigation into Hillary Clinton. The president says, where are her 33,000 emails if you're going to talk about that? Was she allowed to give an interview not under oath?
It's his government. It's his government.
No. Excuse me. If you want to talk about the 2016 election, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I think everything should come out.
I asked about Russia's attack and who's telling the president that the Russia thing is over.
So, Brian, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question because you keep saying Russia's attack on democracy. What evidence do you or anybody at CNN have that any of that interference, any of that alleged interference played into the election results? You're trying to conflate it to make America think that somehow Donald Trump didn't win this election fairly and squarely, and you know he did. He won states that Hillary Clinton ignored, had nothing to do with Russia.
Resulted in President Trump's victory. 100 different things. One of those things was Russia's attack. And
no, you're wrong.
That's why there's an ongoing federal investigation
nexus?
into possible
I'm sorry,
interference.
are you telling the world right now that there's a nexus between that and the result? Because most people are not willing to say that.
Sure, there's one of 100 factors. There are 100 factors. You were responsible for some of those factors. Clinton's mistakes were some of the factors.
Talk about them on CNN every day.
Russia, there were a lot of factors. But let's,
no, Russia,
you know,
no. I'm not going to let you get away with saying that Russia had anything to do with this election result. What is your proof of that? What is it?
Okay,
show me.
The WikiLeaks, the use of WikiLeaks, the abuse of the WikiLeaks documents, the stolen emails, all of that. We've litigated this.
Brian, you're trying to break news here and it's not working. I'm sorry. Did you just say something that a lot of people on your side of the aisle are not willing to say?
I'm not on a side of an aisle. That's an offensive
tell America,
remark.
did you vote for Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump? How did your wife vote?
I did not vote
tell
for
America.
president. I left that spot blank on the ballot that day. But it's not appropriate for you to go
you
around
probably didn't think she
asking
needed
people
your
who they
help.
voted for.
No, it's all appropriate to ask me things, but not other people. I think America
we
should
asked you
know.
to come on the program because you're a representative of the president. Yes, I think that's the point of the interview.
The president thinks that if you're going, the president thinks that that there's no nexus between any Russian interference and the outcome of the election, and a lot of folks think that now, which is why they're moving on to someone's lawyer being on your network 160 plus times in a short amount of time. You don't have those screaming graphics anymore of Russia collusion. Someone on a different network last night ran all these outtakes from people on your network and others where Adam Schiff was promising, Russia collusion. People were promising we're going to have evidence of this. You confused America and you wasted time talking about that instead of things that really matter to America, like a great, prosperous economy, national security, renegotiated trade deals. These things matter to people, Brian, and you know it. Look, if you think your job is to get the president and not get the story, you ought to just own it. Just say it. Because I know your viewers expect that now. Look at their comments all the time. Don't have Trump people on. They expect you to be reflexively, invectively anti-Trump.
I'm glad
you're
here. The goal is not to get the president.
I'm happy to be here.
The goal is to get the truth. There's a lot of people lying and trying to obscure the truth.
But you're stating as truth now something that people aren't saying. Serious people are not
saying. No, I'm saying
that
there hasn't been a
Russian
report yet.
Interference.
I'm saying there hasn't been a report yet, so I don't know where the president's getting this claim that they found no collusion. Can I ask you about one other thing he tweeted?
Hillary Clinton disagrees with you, though, Brian. Hillary Clinton disagrees with you. She blames Comey. She blames white women listening to the men in their life. She blames sexism. I mean, Hillary Clinton blames everything. Maybe
I'm trying to find out where the actual president's getting information, not the woman that tried to be president. 5 days ago, the president tweeted that the probe was costing $10 million. Today, he said almost $20 million. Again, where is he getting this information from?
I don't know, but people know that it's a taxpayer-funded enterprise, and that's why they have a right to know. Look, I think that Judge T.S. Ellis a couple weeks back...
Right, but he said $10 million, then he said close to $20 million.
But put it perfectly, Judge T.S. Ellis told the folks in the Manafort case that you can't use this Manafort investigation to go and try to embarrass the president. Like, you have to have something else. I think everybody should pull up and see what a federal judge in the Eastern District of Virginia had to say, because it reflects a lot of people's
heard all about it. That's the beauty of the media, right? Everybody heard about that. That was big news on that day.
Brian, I think it's really great that the president doesn't allow any of this to distract from being one of the most successful president in his first 16 months anywhere. I was with him at that Republican Senate lunch this week.
I respect the pivot. I don't know what he's working on this weekend, because all he's doing is tweeting about his resentments.
I know what he's working on. I just hung up with him 30 seconds before I came on your show. I know what he's working on.
And what was his message for you?
Many things. We were talking about a very specific issue that we're going to work on later today as a group. I mean, he's the president of the United States. Do you think that if it's so easy to get corporate tax rate from 35% to 21% and get a promise of 20,000 Apple jobs here, it would have been done in the last administration. If it's so easy to do prison reform to break the back of the opioid crisis, other presidents would have done it.
And it's still doing really well. I'm thankful.